Hi there, I'm Wendy and welcome to my channel where I share knitting and crochet tutorial videos for my projects and techniques. And today I'm going to do a sock video, and it's just a short little video showing you how I fix those little holes that can appear when you're knitting socks with short row shaped heels. So I've got the matching sock here that I've just finished knitting the heel for, and I'm going to knit one more round and then I'm going to show you a little hole appearing either side and how I go about fixing it. So I've now finished working one complete round and I've got two different types of hole to fill in. So if you have a look this side, you can see that we've just got a little gap with some wide strands of yarn there. And then where I've got the other side, I've actually got a little hole appearing here, if you can see it carefully through the needles. So I'm going to do both of those for you so you can see how to fill them in. So I'm just going to pull out my back needle, so I've got that working needle free, and if I put my finger behind here, I will always go down either 2 or 3 strands of yarn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to miss this horizontal strand here, and I'm going to miss the next one again going along, and this third strand here I'm going to take my needle underneath it and up the other side. So I'm going to hold my needle going from top to bottom, miss that top strand, miss the second strand, and then I'm going to go underneath the third strand and up again. So I'm just picking that strand up. And then I'm going to twist my needle back round so it's facing upwards, and I've twisted that stitch and I've taken some of the slack out of that gap. Now I'm going to find that little second strand down, so that's just hiding in here. So I'm just going to pick up that second strand that we missed, and then I can knit that stitch off. And what I'm doing is I'm just using some of that spare thread I'm filling in. And then we've got the top strand here, and I'm going to pop that on my needle and I'm going to knit that off as well. So that has in fact filled in the gap. So that's taken the gap away, but it's given us an extra stitch. So I'm going to slip that stitch on the right hand needle knitwise onto my left hand needle, and then I'm going to knit the first 2 stitches together to bring my stitch count back down to the correct number and reduce those 2 stitches back to 1, and that will have filled in the gap and filled in that hole. So I'm now going to knit across to the other side where I've got the other heel hole, and while I'm doing that I'll just mention that if you're new to my channel, it would be lovely if you subscribed and click that notification bell, and then you'll get to hear when my next videos go live, and it would be great if you gave me a thumbs up as well. So I've now reached the other side of my heel, and this side is slightly different. I've got a strand going across with a hole formed in between, and then some slack pieces of yarn here between the front and the back needle. So I'm going to do the same thing starting from this point. I'm going to miss the top thread, miss the second thread, and then I'm going to take my needle from top to bottom, going between the second and the third thread and coming up the other side. So I've picked that third connecting thread up. Now I'm going to turn my needle around so it's facing upwards, and that twists the yarn and fills in some of the gap. So now with my other needle, I'm going to miss that top thread here, and I'm going to go into the second thread and pick it up and pop it on my right hand needle, and then I can knit that off. And then again with the top thread here, the top blue thread that was going across, I'm going to pick that one up, and then I'm going to knit that off. So that's filled in all that slack area that was between the back and the front needles. Now I've got this hole with this other thread, so again I'm just going to knit that across. So I'm just going to pick up the pink thread and then knit through, and then again I'm going to slip this pink stitch from the right hand needle onto the left hand needle, but just like before, I've got too many stitches. I've gained an extra stitch. So when I start this side of my round, I'm going to knit those first 2 stitches together, and that will bring me back to the right amount of stitches, and it will also have filled in that ugly gap that we had when we first got to this side of the heel. So that's the way that I fill in 2 different types of holes that can appear at those heel points when you're working short row shaping heels. So I hope you found this video useful and that you carry on enjoying your sock knitting, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye!